Hey, my name is Daedry, and y'all, I got distracted this month. So February really didn't go as well as January did with me reading as much books as I did in January. I only read 2 books this month. Now I know February is a shorter month than the rest of the months, but only by 2 days. I kind of fell back into the habit of coming home and not being productive and not working on my shit as I should have. And also I was busy working on another special project which consumed a lot of my time as well as my job did, but most of it was just me being lazy. So I only did read 2 books, but 2 books is still something, so let's go ahead and talk about the books that I read in February. One of the books that I read this month was the Autobiography of Assata Shakur. You guys heard me talk about this book in the last book club video, but I let a friend borrow it and I was just waiting to read it. It was fitting because it is Black History Month, so I might as well read about my black brothers and sisters. So this book, I thought it was going to be really boring because the friend that did borrow it, she told me that it took her a while to get into it. It was a lot of information. I thought so too when I was reading the Forewords by Angela Davis and who is this person? One of those Forewords are by Angela Davis, but it took me a while to get through them because it was so much information and I had the idea that the whole book was going to be like this, so I slowly read through that. But then once I got to chapter 1, it went straight in. The book talks about Assata's journey through her trial when she is wrongfully accused of killing a state trooper on the New Jersey Turnpike, and just her early childhood and things that she's done with being a Black Panther. I really like that book, the way she describes everything. It kind of makes you feel like you're there. There's a lot of insight on it as well. I learned a lot through the book. I would highly recommend this book or anything. I think this is a must read for every black person in America. Read this book. I really enjoyed it. If you don't like reading, watch the movie. Just learn about us. You know, it's great to have knowledge about black people because we're great. But yes, Assata Shakur, one of my favorite books this month. Even though I did read only 2 books this month, but it was pretty good. So highly recommend. Go get it. The second book I read this month, and you guys probably gonna laugh because it's literally the shortest book I ever read. When I bought it, I thought it was a full-size book, but then I got it and I was like, oh. But it's a collection of short essays by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm not entirely too sure. But it's the book We Should All Be Feminists. Now, I'm a man, but we should all be feminists. We should all support everybody, equality for all, and I believe that as well. So I went ahead and picked up this book, read through it in about a day. It's only 52 pages and the book is quite small. This is how small it is in comparison to Assata, which is quite large actually. But I highly enjoyed this book. It was full of a lot of information as well, but information that we did need. It had great reviews and I'm glad I read it. It's a quick read, so if anybody is looking to read something as to this or looking to read it, just get it. It wasn't that expensive and it was full of a lot of knowledge. Yeah. Rather talk about the books that I didn't read this month, I decided that I was going to offer some tips on reading books that I've kind of picked up here. While reading, I kind of like to listen to music. I need a soundtrack to the book, basically, if that makes any sense. So I've been listening to a lot of jazz, Esperanza Spalding, and also I've been listening to the Black Panther album. Jazz just has like a good background track for anything, no matter what you're reading. I'm not sure if everybody is like me. Some people get distracted and like to read in complete silence, but I do need music, so that's what I've been listening to. I really enjoyed it. It kind of shows a movie in my head. If you ever have trouble reading books and you listen to music and you imagine everything in your head going on, it's kind of like a movie. It makes it a little bit more enjoyable for me. So that's what I like. Another trick that I learned, I'm not sure if this is new, but I just learned this when I'm reading Assata. So a lot of times when I'm reading a book, I tend to stop in a very awkward place and I kind of lose it when I try to pick it up back again. I can't find my place at all. So what I learned is, by accident, I just had a sticky note next to me for a bookmark, so I used it. I stuck it inside of my book, but instead of just sticking it where I could just see where the page was, I stick it right on the sentence that I just left off on, and it's helped me a lot with just picking back up, reading right where I am at, because it kind of takes me a couple of minutes to kind of find and understand what's happening. But if I'm using this trick, it cuts down some of the time. Oh, that's all the tips I really have. I'll probably have some more later on, but just those two and just those two books. I did go ahead and purchase some more books. I know I shouldn't have done that, but I just couldn't help myself. I do still have some books from my last book haul that I haven't read yet, but I will get through those. March, I'm going to go ahead and replenish everything that I didn't read. So I have a couple books here that I still need to read. Dear Martin is from my last book haul, which I still need to read. I picked up 2 books at Target one day, just because I've been seeing it a lot recently. I picked up Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda, and also John Green's Turtles All the Way Down. I've been kind of interested in these books, so I might get to these this month. I might leave them for the month after that. We'll find out. I also have these 2 books in my to read list on Amazon, which is allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson, and The Education of Margaret Sanchez by Lilium Rivera. The description of these 2 books, and they kind of intrigued me, so I really wanted to read this, especially allegedly, because it's a crime mystery kind of book, and I kind of like books like this. And I know the author has another book coming out that's also a crime kind of style book. Tiffany Haddish, Autobiography. I didn't get to read this yet. This is from my second haul of books, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to get to this next month. I also have 2 other books. I have The American Street by E.B. Zobai. I'm not really good at pronouncing names, but I read the description of this on Amazon. It was in my to read list, and I'm really excited about reading this as well. And then I also have another book by Jennifer Latham. It's called Burning Dreamland, and it kind of goes back and forth between the time periods, if I'm not mistaken, from what I'm reading from the description. So I'm excited to read this book as well, so I'm gonna get to that. So that's pretty much all I have for this month. I know I didn't read as much as I did last month, but next month I'm planning to kind of catch back up and get to reading some of these books that I did purchase, and maybe even add some new ones. I know I shouldn't, but I just can't help myself. But just stay tuned. I'll be back next month on the last day of the month to kind of talk about what we talked about, and expect another video from me soon, because I do have a special project coming that I'm really excited about, that I've kind of been working on. It has to do with everything that I have been doing so far on this channel, just a broad generalization, and I came up with the name and everything. I'm just really excited. I don't want to take too much, but that'll be coming soon. As always, guys, pieces and blessings. Thank you for watching. See you later.